Hey guys, this is Mariah with
Co-op number 7.
and I'm actually going to do a little bit of a different video. I have been thinking a lot about adult education. Part of it is because my kids have actually gone into the public school system at this point. We have decided that those are the best routes. My daughter goes to a school of the arts and academics, which is a very difficult school to get into. It was a really big deal to put her in there. And then my son just needed a little bit more. Even though we were really busy, very active, he needed just a little bit more. And he's actually doing very well in his public school. He's in every sport, he's in band, and we take it year by year still, even though they're in public school. In fact, he will be in high school next year, and our school system has a lot of great options actually here in Washington. In fact, we have a place called Skill Center where they can learn all different kinds of skills, and in that they have a fire cadet program that he's planning on taking his junior and senior year, and then he's going to do Running Start, which it is taking college courses. So he's going to get 2 years of fire science and college, which he could do homeschooling or he could do going to the public school as well. So it's pretty cool. We have some really great options in Washington State. We're pretty fortunate. Not to brag, but that's why my kids are in public schools. It's made me think so much about adult education because here's what happened. When I started homeschooling my kids, I realized I did not have the education that I wish I had had. After seeing the stuff that I got to start working with them on, history, science, art, even English, even math, I couldn't believe that I had missed out so much. We just weren't taught a lot of this stuff, and we certainly weren't taught it in a fun way. I hated history in school. It was boring. It was all dates and wars, and there's so much more to history than that. There is history of weapons, there's history of women, there's history of different countries, there's world history, and it just really made me feel like, gosh, I really missed out. And I could make this a whole lot more fun for myself. So, why educate yourself as an adult? And really, I'm calling it homeschooling myself. Why homeschool yourself? Well, one, because it's fun. Seriously, there's so much that you can do with education. And I know some of you were probably like, oh my gosh, no way, I'm not educating myself. How boring. What a boring thing to do. No, there's so much that you can do. It's true. Nowadays, not only do we have awesome curriculums, I use kids curriculum, and I'm not ashamed of it at all because it's great. But also we have movies and shows to back up the stuff that we are learning. There's games galore. I mean, not just video games, board games that you can play. So much that you can do. There's activities, there's places to visit. It really truly can become a hobby. So it's really exciting, and I am actually doing this myself with my husband, with him a little bit reluctant, and he specifically said, as long as it doesn't feel like school, which I'm like, I don't want it to feel like school either. That was boring. We're not taking tests, and we're not worrying about stinking dates. And the other thing is, you probably don't remember what you learned. I know I don't. I remember very little bits and pieces of some of the stuff that I learned in like history and math. And actually, I love math, but I don't remember half of it. Unfortunately, it was not taught in a way that was conducive to the way that I learned. Also, I'm going to teach you a new way to learn. There's so much research on how we actually learn things. It's ridiculous. When you get to a place and you learn this, you're just going to be amazed at, wow, how was I not taught this way? I feel like I was ripped off a little bit. I'm going to teach you a way that is completely compatible with your brain. It is research driven. It is awesome. I'm going to show you how my video cut off halfway through yesterday and I ran out of space to continue. So as you can see, I'm in a different getup, but that's okay. I'm going to teach you a way that has a lot of research for brain compatibility. You're going to love it. I'm also going to teach you how to use kids curriculum to learn a new subject. Kids curriculum's great. They make it for kids, so it's fun and it's understandable. And there's a lot of things that you can learn from a kids curriculum. There's coding, there's history, there's languages, there's math, logic, all kinds of things. So seriously, it just makes sense. And then you're gonna find that the way I'm gonna teach you, you're going to get lots of projects, activities, crafts, field trips, all kinds of stuff. You're really gonna love it. So how are we gonna do this? I'm gonna introduce you to a method that a lot of homeschoolers are familiar with, or if they're not, they at least know of it, and it might scare them because of the name of it. It's called the classical method of education. The definition of classic is actually best, model, simple, ideal. That is actually the definition, or it comes from an ancient culture, which is true. It does come from an ancient culture. But basically, the biggest highlights of the classical education that we're going to focus on is history, going in a chronological order and focusing on world history. Something that makes this really cool is that I don't know how you learned history, but when I was in school, when we learned it, we learned different units. So one time we're going to learn about Columbus, another time we're going to learn about ancient Egypt, another time we're going to learn about something American history, something completely separate. None of them had connections. And then we're supposed to just remember these dates, and it was, you know, all history was testing of dates and stuff. We read it out of a textbook. It was boring. We're going to start with a fun, colorful curriculum as a guide. You can use a couple of different ones. I'm going to be choosing to use the Usborne Encyclopedia of World History. You can choose to use that, or there's Story of the World. I still have that one and use it also. You can get that in audio form at your library. At my library, they actually have it, so you can check it out. We're going to be doing quite a bit with those. There's also the Kingfisher Encyclopedia of World History too, and that one's also really good. But it's going to be really neat because what you will see, instead of units of history, we're actually going to go chronologically and we're going to do the whole world. So, for example, if you learn about the Declaration of Independence, a lot of times we're not actually taught the impact that had around the world. It was a huge impact. Historically and culturally, it was not normal to not have a king ruling you. It was huge. There were a lot of countries that took a look at that and wanted to do similar things. So it's really neat to actually learn that chronologically and to learn the world history that was going on at the same time. Well, so there you have it. Those are the things that I'm going to be teaching you. I'm really excited about this. I will dive more into the classical method in my next videos. I think, I'm pretty positive, I want to say I know, but I think that you're going to enjoy learning in this method. Now, I know that this video is also about adults, but you can definitely use this with your kids if you're homeschooling. Teens can use this. You don't have to be an adult to do this, but I'm going to go ahead and tailor this to adults. All right, guys, I will talk to you in the next video. Bye.